Hi, I'm Fred Sokolow. I'm going to do a little mini lesson about understanding chord progressions. It's kind of an excerpt from a video that I just recently released by the same name, Understanding Chord Progressions for Ukulele. It's really cool to understand chord progressions because it helps you learn tunes. When you hear a tune for the first time, a lot of times it falls into one of the patterns that you know when you know about these typical ways that chords move in tunes. So when I hear a song that I've never heard before, it's way easier for me to learn it and to learn to play it because of the fact that I know these typical ways that chords move around. One of the most typical ways is something called the rhythm changes. But before we describe it, I have to spend a few seconds talking about the number system, because musicians describe chord progressions and they use numbers instead of letter names. And it's really simple. The numbers relate to the major scale of whatever key you're in. So if you're in the key of C, C is the 1 chord and D is the 2 chord, and 3, you're just going up the major scale. So if you're in the key of C, if it's a D or a D minor or a D seventh, you're going to call it a 2 chord. And if it's some kind of E chord, it'll be a 3, and so on. So the progression I'm going to describe is 1, 6, 2, 5, where the 6 and the 2 are minor. So 1, 6 minor, 2 minor, 5. And it's this real popular chord progression that you've heard in lots of tunes, as in Blue Moon, You Saw Me Standing, or Heart and Soul, da 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 da. And those are 30s tunes, but in the 50s it was all these doo-wop ballads like Oh Donna, Oh Donna, or Why Must I Be a Teenager in Love? And in the 60s you had Be my baby, my one and only baby, or When the Night Has Come and the Sky is Dark, Stand By Me. I could go on with a million other ones from the 60s. In the 70s, Everybody's Got a Hungry Heart. That's Bruce, right? In the 80s, Every Breath You Take, Every Vow You Break, and so on. So, like I said, the numbers turn out to be 1, 6, 2, 5, because C is 1, if you're in the key of C. A minor is the 6th note in the C scale. A is the 6th note in the C scale, so A minor is 6 minor. And the 2 minor, D is the 2nd note in the C scale, so D minor is the 2. And G or G7 is the 5th. G is the 5th note in the C scale, so that's the 5 chord. So that's a zillion tunes, and sometimes it's the whole tune, and sometimes it's a major part of the tune. Or in some tunes it'll be like that, and then there'll be a bridge that's entirely different. There's all kinds of names for this progression because it's in such common use. They used to call it the ice cream changes, or the standard changes, or the dime store progression, but of course inflation has wiped that one out. But jazz players call it the rhythm changes because of the 30s Gershwin tune, I got rhythm, I got music, which is doing that 1, 6 minor, 2 minor, 5, and then it does something else at the end. So the rhythm changes after I got rhythm. Now, what you can do with this to really further your understanding of chord progressions is to do it in lots of different keys. And take any one of the tunes that I just mentioned, like Blue Moon or Stand By Me or whatever it is, and just strum it and work it out in every key. In F, of course, it would be F, D minor, G minor, C7, over and over again. And you do that, and in G it would be G, E minor, A minor, D7. So you do that in every key, and you kind of tell yourself as you're doing it, now I'm going to the 6 minor, now I'm going to the 2 minor, now I'm going to the 5 chord. And you're training your ear to hear those changes. One of the key things about understanding chord progressions is hearing what it sounds like to go like from a 1 chord to its 6 minor, relative minor, or going from 1 chord to its a 5 chord. The first thing the very first thing you need to know to understand chord progressions is hearing what it sounds like to go from 1 to 5. And that would be like from an F to a C7, or from a C to a G7. And once you can hear that change, then that's really the beginning of understanding how music works, as opposed to just memorizing things, memorizing letter names, for example. So you take, even before you do the 1, 6, 2, 5 thing, you take a simple 2-chord tune like Jambalaya that's just 1 and 5, and you play it in every key that you can think of. Again, tell yourself, now I'm going to the 5 chord, now I'm going back to the 1. And you're training your ear to hear that 1 to 5 sound. Then when you listen to a song for the first time, you recognize it when you hear it in the tune. So that's just a little sample of what happens in that understanding chord progressions. There's all kinds of patterns like that 1, 6, 2, 5. Once you learn them, you start to really understand how music works. And strangely enough, it doesn't demystify music in any way at all. It doesn't take any of the magic out of it. In fact, it just makes it more fun, makes you able to learn songs faster. And I love knowing all that stuff. It means when I hear a tune, I can really sort of understand the structure of it. So hope you get the video, and I hope you practice this 1, 6, 2, 5 thing and get something out of it.